Level up, 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 level up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Level up, 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 level up. All this on me so yummy, all this stuff so yummy. Know you want this yummy, yummy all in your tummy. Level up, 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 level up. All this on me so yummy, all this stuff so yummy. Know you want this yummy, yummy all in your tummy. Them blue mistakes on
Welcome to Take Center Stage and Own It with Marisa Bludorn. I am your host, and I'm super excited to have with me tonight. We are celebrating International Women's History Month Day. Oh my God, we are celebrating women all year long. We are so excited. We are leveling up. This is the I Am a Woman Empowered Anthology 2. And they are coming fierce, fabulous, and free. And we have the visionary anthologist herself, Angela Lewis, in the house with me. Super excited to have you, sis. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's put up the cover again, because we had the cover up when we first came in. But let them see the people what's out there. Now, is this not fierce, fabulous, and free? I don't know who designed this cover, but it is speaking volumes to me when I see it.
Yes, honey. Does it not make you feel like, listen, I'm looking over the city, baby, looking at what I can do, and I can own all things and be fierce, fabulous, and free all at the same time. Don't you love that?
Yes, yes, yes. And you know what? They say that we are in the season, the stretch of women rising up, right? Taking our rightful place, no longer staying in the shadows, but taking center stage and owning it. And so, ladies, this is volume 2. And so last year we spent a great deal of time. I got a chance to see you, Angela, in your leadership in regards to this anthology, and just see the love that you. And then I have people. I'm looking at your co-authors, and I'm seeing some of the same folks back in, which speaks volumes as to the work that you do, your leadership style. And I always speak to that because it's so important as an anthologist and a visionary is to lead your people effectively. And this is such an amazing journey. And I'm looking forward to hearing not only the new stories, but also the stories of evolution that has gone on since our last, your last, body of work. And so, Angela, talk to us. What inspired you to do a round 2?
Marisa, first let me say thank you so much. I always love connecting with you and being on your platform. So y'all know it's all about owning it. And to be honest, when I think about Woman Empowered too, it just makes sense because as women, we're always evolving. We're always going to the next level. And for those who weren't able to be in the first part, I want to really kind of bring on a whole different concept. And so volume 1 was about stories of strength, resiliency, and triumph. So we talked about a lot of things with that. Volume 2 was about becoming fierce, fabulous, and free. It's about at one point in your life going through some of the drama and trauma that we as women experience. But sometimes when you don't know your worth, things happen and then you finally recognize, oh, hold up, wait a minute. Now I know who I am. And not only do I know my worth, but now it's time for me to add tax. You probably should have got me before I recognized who I am. But now that I know, oh, no, ma'am, no, sir, you will not get a discounted version. I'm coming for everything God has for me.
And that is a part of being fierce, right? You have to, if you're claiming to be, I am a woman empowered, that is a declaration. That is just not a passe statement. It's not a cliche. And it's not us women trying to be cute in this season. When I say own it, I mean own it. Own it. Straight line, no chasers, right? Own it. And so, this is a time for us to rise up. A lot of studies have shown that people have gone through a lot of mental health issues, right? With the COVID and everything that we've gone through during this season, the loss of loved ones, also too being secluded, right? We had to be, had to have the shut in at first. So there's a lot of things that go on with us mentally. So this project is probably I'm pretty sure once we go into the discussion, this project has probably really empowered women to do the introspective work that's necessary in order for them to become fierce and to be focused and be fabulous and free. There's something about that free part I want to get to. And so I wanted to just reach out to Jamaica. Lovely to see you, sis. How are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
Good. So you decided to go for a round 2 here.
I did.
What inspired you to do that?
Well, first, thank you for allowing me to share on your platform today, and thank you to all my beautiful sisters that are me. For me, being on round 2, I was so impressed with round 1. Just first of all, starting with the visionary Angela Lewis, her love and kindness. She kind of took me. I feel like took me under her wing when we first met, and I mean, her integrity, her leadership is just outstanding. Her kindness, her professionalism, not only her but as well as her team, Rhonda and Matthew, they just made it easy. And so I figured that, if God gave me the vision to be a writer, and the first step for me as far as stepping out to be an author was to join in as on the anthologies, because I would advise anybody that feels like they are an author to first start out. If you're not already ready to step out on your own with your own book, join anthologies. I mean, that's a beautiful platform and a way to share your story as well as other women's stories or men, whoever you join with, to get everybody's stories exposed just in one book. So I was just very excited when Angela came out with the second volume of this book. And, the fierce, fabulous, and free, because those 3 words are something that I have and still am evolving into. And I was like, let me share where I am now, because who knows, by volume 5 or 6, where I'll be, or where we'll all be.
Yes. And that's the whole point. This is creating a community, a network. And Jamaica, when you hear me speak, it's always about connecting. It's always about the sisterhood. It's always about that support system that's required to rise up, to become fierce and to become fabulous and free. You need a network that supports that and reinforces that. And that's one thing that I will always speak to in regards to Angela as a leader, as a trailblazer, as one who's going ahead and gathering folks that want to and desire to go with her. It's a huge thing among the sisterhood, because we see so much of the opposite. That's the standard. It's not a lie. And we try to say, oh, well, because sometimes I talk to women and they say, oh, I don't have that problem in my group. I don't know about what's going on with you, Sister Betrayal, but the real deal is that we all got them. We all got people. I remember just sharing the other day with a friend in regards to something personal to me, and the response was not the supportive response that I would have liked to have had. And so we need to have that. We need to have that free space where it reinforces us becoming fierce, unrelentless, and pursuing what we were meant to be. You were designed for a specific purpose. And the way that you get to that alignment is the people that you're surrounded with. I want to go around. Keisha, this again is another one of you're back again. Am I correct? If I'm remembering, you're round 2.
She wasn't in the book, Marisa, but she was part of our celebration. She was part of
our community, because I remember her name. I was like,
she was part of our list. And when we did our whole weekend, she was all up in there, honey, with the wine. So yes, you got a great memory.
Yeah, no, listen, I watched, and it was just like, oh my God, what an amazement to just sit back and watch you guys. So I don't always comment But I am an observer, and I observe a lot. I'm busy. My schedule is crazy, but trust me, even though when you have me in the group, I watch it, and when I get a chance, I will respond. But I watch you guys, and I'm rooting for you. Trust me, I'm in the background saying, "My God, show up and show out in their lives. Show them."
He is showing up and showing out. When I tell you this group, my first group was great, but this group right here is right there with it. I mean, they are celebrating one time after the next. It's like every single day somebody is celebrating something that God is doing. So the movement is strong, and he got his hands all up on our group. And I'm just so happy because it's not just one person who's out here winning and shining. Every single person is coming up with something that God is just moving. And so it's just a beautiful thing to see.
It is. It is a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing to watch and listen. And let me tell you something, Jamaica. I have not forgotten you. I owe you big time, and I'm going to take care of you, sister. It was extremely busy for me, but don't ever think I've forgotten. I know you. I see you, and I'm going to take very good care of you. Wanda, I wanted to
You're good,
have
sis.
and yeah, I got you, Mama. Just trust me. I got a nice treat for you. Wanda, I just want to ask you about your experience. Talk to me about I am a woman empowered, your perspective on being a woman empowered, and then talk to us a little bit about being fierce, fabulous, and free, Mommy.
Okay, well, let me first, again, like Jamaica did, thank Angela. Angela is a college friend of mine, so we go way back, and she's seen personally some of my journey. I took a great decline during with health challenges. Had to come out of my profession as a quality software engineer, and basically hit the drop dead bottom as far down as I could go. And I had to redefine myself. I had to find myself some kind of way. During that time, I was so depressed that I became suicidal. And
Mm,
that is where I had a form of a spiritual awakening. So at that time, I knew that there were certain things that I was supposed to do. And one was get my butt off the ground and get back going. God showed me the different ways that I had been successful in the past, and I realized I didn't have to re-educate myself or get any new kind of accreditation because I had done everything that I needed to be successful, and most of those skills were innate to me. Those were things that I just did naturally. So a part of redefining myself was also thinking about what's my problem in this equation. Where do I cause the self sabotage and the self destruction?
Hmm.
So,
mm,
in this whole growth, I think on my platform, I've mentioned many times to my family and friends that God has put this purpose in me, and I know what I'm supposed to do, and I'm supposed to do this, and I'm supposed to do that, and I want to write a book. And I don't know if Angela caught any of that or whatever, but when she called me and asked me about this endeavor, I was thinking, look at God, because I just said I wanted to write a book. And so this is all new for me. The whole anthology concept is new for me, but I can tell you it has been the most powerful and enriching experience that I've had thus far because I am with 13 to 14, well, more than that, different people, all strangers prior to this. And I see the collaboration, I see the rewarding, I see the applause and the comments, and sometimes even the hey girl, snap out of it and get back in line type of discussions that take place. So that goes along with what we're trying to do in being fierce, fabulous, and free. I knew when I decided to take my life back that the first thing I need to do was change my mindset. And once I changed my mindset, everything else was going to fall in place. I knew that was going to happen. So I knew the first journey of mine. I didn't have to know the Bible back to forward. I didn't have to read a whole lot of self-help books. I didn't have to get so many different communities. I had to first convince myself that I could do this and get it in my mind. And then everything else that I was lacking was coming into place. So when I think about being fierce, that's something that I had to find again because before this, I was fierce. A Black woman in a male-dominated industry, so I had to be heard, and in leadership, so I had to be heard. So now I needed to find my voice again. Being fabulous was just every day. I don't care how much pain I'm in. I don't care what's going on. You're going to see me smiling and probably trying to get up here and dance with y'all. I'm going to pay for it later, but I'm going to get up here and dance with you later. And just being free, I was the one that put the shackles on my feet. I was the one that put up the wall and the barrier. So I had to be the one to knock it all down and release myself. So that's what it means for me to be free. And I'm so glad to be a part of this. They have really showed out. And now I'm ready for my second, third, fourth, fifth book because basically Angela pushed me out. She pushed me and said, hey, you said it, you claim it, let's get it done. And, I can't say enough about how great this is, this whole collaboration. And Matthew's the man. Hey, Matthew.
Yes, he is.
He's the man. He's the man to put up with all these women. Oh, yeah, he's the man.
He's the icing on the cake. That's beautiful. You know what? And with Own It magazine, we focus on topics every single month. And because my background is psychology and behavioral change, I know that there are processes, there are steps to the transformation process. And one of the things that we started off in January was mindset. Is you have to, just like what you mentioned, Wanda, was mindset. But in all of it, you always have to be ready. Are you ready and are you open for the change? And what you said what was very great about what you said is recognizing yourself. Where am I in the equation that's being the factor that's causing the lack of change or being the one self-sabotaging, right? And so that's amazing that you have. And then my approach to coaching is always self-awareness should lead you to self-development, and self-development should lead you to self-mastery. Not perfection, but knowing who you are, knowing what makes you tick, what ticks you off, and how to navigate successfully around all of it so that you can be fierce, fabulous, focused and free, And so I applaud you, sis, for showing up. And you have to show up first for yourself. But then when you've shown up for yourself and you're really enjoying it, now you have to show up for your other sisters and your brothers. Yes. Now we see that our brothers really have need of us as well. Because I know when I started coaching, I had people tell me, oh, you need to focus on women. And I just knew that I'm not that's not me. I'm focused on who is open and ready. Right. So we have to be ready for those who are in need and answer and respond to that. Now, Chef Diva, girlfriend, I saw you dropping some stuff and you need to talk to us about your testimony, what's been going on with you, because you got some stuff going on. So, don't hold back. We don't want no modesty. We want to know because we want you to get the audience to realize the importance of I am a woman in power and what that really means. And so share with us, girl. I saw some fabulous stuff going on for you.
So first and foremost, how's everybody doing this evening? So just a little bit about myself, Chef Latoya Larkin, Houston, Texas. My journey of being fierce, fabulous, and free, it has been absolutely amazing. I would love to shout out Miss A Love, my big sister. I met her just to kind of piggyback on what you said, Marissa, with the connections, those collaborations and connections. I met Angela through the Tap In Network with Tandra. And then it carried over me to going into the CEO district. And then I was going to Atlanta for the summer to go visit some family. And I got the invite to come to the brunch. And then she had her magazine launch. So I'm like, okay, let me go check out the launch. And just the energy, the spirit, it was just, it's just, you have to gravitate towards her. It's just like, because I know for a fact, I was like, she knows some people that can help put me where I'm at. And Atlanta is one of my markets that I'm trying to get into. So let me go ahead and ride her coattail, let her introduce me to some other people outside of who I already know in Atlanta and just help put me on. The experience has been absolutely amazing. nothing short of true sisterhood. As Sister Wanda said, like none of us knew each other outside. You know, we may have knew somebody that knew somebody, but collectively, we all didn't know each other. We all have gotten to know each other. It is like a true sisterhood of just genuine, unwavering support, genuine love. You know, and it's just been amazing. My journey, myself, with being fierce, fabulous, and free. 22. This is my year right here. Like I'm just claiming it. 22 is my year. Let me say that again. I'm moving relentlessly. Okay, so that's the movement that we got for 22. Relentless. That was actually that's my line name in my sorority, Sigma Gamma Rho. And so when it came about, it's just the fact of it makes total sense. This book came right on time. Like everything is just so strategically falling into place. As I had mentioned earlier today, when I was talking to one of my friends, and I was just like, man, just thinking about how far I've come. You know, my son, he's a junior in high school this year. He's gonna be a senior next year. When my son first started school, like I couldn't even buy his clothes or his school supplies. His dad, his uncle, my mama, his grandma had to step in and help me out with that because I couldn't even all I could do was just pay the bills, you know, just keep the lights on, keep the roof over. And when school rolled around, and it just made me feel like, man, you know, and that's the worst feeling as being a parent, to not be able to adequately provide. You know, I can't even take my baby to the store to get a toy. You know, again, I got to ask somebody, hey, can I borrow this or can I get that? And to see where I'm at now, you know, it's just the fact of not wanting for a thing. His senior year coming next year, I'm gonna be going to Paris for the Rise Women's Conference. He's gonna be coming with me. You know, and again, at that time, my car, I could only drive around Houston. You know, we can't even get on the road to take a road trip. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like to see how far God has brought me, you know, just for me planting those seeds and just moving relentlessly, not giving up, you know, not letting up, just keep moving, serving in my purpose, minding my business, you know, not in nobody's mess. You know, you do your thing, I'm doing mine, I'm staying in my lane, I'm not bothering you, don't bother me. And that's kind of how I've been these last years. And that's what allowed me, you know, for me to be able to walk away from teaching, because I taught for 8 years, ran a culinary program. And the pandemic, I was one of those people that was able to benefit from the pandemic. And I was able to walk away with my concept here in the back, Black Girl Tamales, which is going to be a household name, as P. Angela claimed, and I'm claiming it too. The concept, it still amazes me and puts me in awe that, like, wow, I created that. You know, like I really created something so unique and so different because I grew up making tamales with my grandmother. She lived out in California. She learned how one of her Hispanic friends taught her how to make tamales. She brought it back to Texas. Back in the 60s, she was a housekeeper, so she was considered to be the help. And her side hustle was tamales, right? So that was her little side hustle. She did tamales and stuff. And so she taught me how to cook, you know, and I learned, you know, rolling and making them with us since I was about 8 years old. And so when I got older, you know, I carried over the concept, you know, just made tamales here and there. It wasn't a regular thing like it was now, but it was just a little bit here and there, because I was so busy, you know, in my career, you know, trying to utilize that degree that I went to school for, the degree. So busy with that. But then when I started teaching, I started getting a little bit more consistent with the tamales, because what I would do is I would make them for the summer. So when we go on summer break, I sell them over the summer, you know, outside of, you know, my personal chef business, going in to cook for people. I make them during the summer. And so 2019 is when the birth of Black Girl Tamales came about. I was in grad school, finishing up my master's, and we was getting ready to leave for the summer. And I told my son, because he's my VP right-hand man, I say, I had a brunch that I did for Mother's Day. And I had like literally just a little bowl of collard greens. I was like, hey, I'm going to take the collard greens and I'm going to put them in the tamales. And he was like, Mama, you tripping. And I was like, what? I was like, what you mean? He was like, man, look, let's just stick with what we got. We got a good thing going. We do our chicken and pork tamales. You're doing too much, Mama, you tripping. I was like, nah, think about it. I was like, it's like cornbread and collard greens. And he was like, well, when you put it like that, okay, but man, look, we just need to stick with what we're doing, Mama. That's just the. I was like, but ain't nobody else doing. I was like, have you ever heard of a collard green tamale? And he was like, no, that's the point. That's the point, Mama. Like, ain't man, just look, let's just do what we do. I'm like, man, look, it's just a little bit. I was like, I'm gonna make them, and we're gonna see what it's gonna be. I rolled up. It rolled out to be about a dozen, right? And so my son is 17. At this time, he was about 15. and he been cooking with me since he's 3 years old. And I called him over. I was like, "Hey," I was like, "Come taste this." And I seen that look right in his face, and it just lit up. I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Hey, let me get another." I was like, "I thought I was tripping though. I thought I was tripping."
Right.
He was like, "Man, oh, all right, mama, okay, all right, you got it, man. That's good. So what you gonna do?" And I was like, "Well, I'm gonna take some. I'm gonna give them to some clients and see what they think." And so when I shopped it around to everybody, get through them a little sample in, if they meal prep and stuff. And they was like, "Man, chef, you gotta add this to the menu, man. I ain't never heard of nothing like that. A collard green tomato like this. Yeah, you gotta add that to the menu." So I was like, "All right, cool." So I added that to the menu. So I've already got the chicken and the pork. And then and when I thought about it, I was like, I want to capitalize off of this. I was like, because for one, I'm Black and I make tamales. When I go to the store to get stuff, I get that look, like, "Oh, you make tamales," but and of course they never gonna say it, but I know what you're thinking. I'm Black and I got tamale stuff because I used to get it from my students all the time, my Hispanic students, and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna run tamales." "Chef, you Black, you can't make no." I was like, "What you mean? What this got to do? I can cook. I know what flavor is. I know how to put stuff together." So that what difference is there? And of course, when they eat them, they that reaction. And so then I was like, okay. So then I got my graphic designer. She got my logo together, and I was like, let me just go ahead and build on it. So I got my got my BBA, bank account, all of that stuff. So now it was wrapping up for me to graduate from grad school. And so then when COVID hit, we went on spring break and we never went back to school after spring break. And that was it, and it was so crazy because it's one of those things when God has a plan for you, you want to do something else, but he has something else for you. And what I thought was going to blow up for me was my personal chef business. So, because I'm thinking like, oh, okay, well, this is my time right now. I'm going to go ahead and get out here and really blow it up. Start cooking for this person, start cooking for that person, because can't nobody go to no restaurants shut down. And then I started thinking about the tamales. I was like, but wait a minute, what can I add to this tamale? Because all I got is the collard greens, like ain't nothing else. And then I made some oxtails over spring break. And I was like, wait a minute. I pulled that meat off the bone and that made like a half a dozen. And that was it. And I was like, soul food tamales, smothered chicken, smothered pork chop, crawfish etouffee, shrimp etouffee. Just running it down. And that's why I was like, okay. So then I started making them, started posting them. And I mean, it literally went viral and blew up in Houston. And so like, I mean, and then it was an editor, again, as you was mentioning, like you're an observer, right? I had an observer from Cuisine Noir. She was watching my page. And she just slid in the DM and she was like, "Hey, I've been watching you, like this is amazing. I've never heard of these flavors. And I see you post this stuff every day. And it just what you really just doing your thing. You ain't out here, you don't post no messy stuff on your page. You just really out here getting it, you just really doing your thing." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, and she's like, "Well, would you mind doing an article?" And I'm like, "Sure, of course." So I wrote that article, and I mean, it was just it like game over after that. I'm talking about people hit me all across country and like in the excitement. That's the thing that puts me in awe, because like when I start running at the people, like they mouth, "You talking about tamales?" I'm talking about tamales. Like I'm still talking about it, and everybody's just so excited and I want to try it. And it's just that, and it's like, you know what? I got a good thing here and I gotta run with it. And one of my clients, he's business partners with the VP of HEB. That's a grocery chain down here in Texas. And so he's like, "Chef, we got to get your tamales in HEB." And I was like, okay. And so I was like, "Well, yeah, I'm trying to work on getting stuff together. I can't just come to him any kind of way." And so, and then he was like, "Well, hey, I'll tell you what, let's do a tasting. We're going to do a cigar tasting and let's put the tamales there." And so took him there. Mr. Terry was there and he was like, "Chef, these tamales, like this is amazing. Like, hey, if you can get USDA and FDA certified, I'm going to put you on HEB." So needless to say, I was on the journey. Like, look, how can I get FDA, USDA certified? Let me find a facility. Let me do this, do that. Looked up, I found a manufacturer in Dallas. They are actually working on my tamales. Talked to them today. They're going to start the production next week for my mass batch so that I can start shopping them around. Then, not even that, we made the discovery. If we do make some adjustments to the recipe, the collard green and the red beans and rice, gluten-free and vegan. That's a that's $1 billion market to tap into. Vegan and gluten-free. Like I almost hollered because I was like, wait a minute. And then I did a meeting with HEB a couple of weeks ago, and that was the one thing that she had mentioned. She was like, there's like, it's the market for vegan and gluten free. Like the food is horrible. It's nasty. It's nothing tasteful. And I've tested the recipes these past couple of weeks, and I was like, they still taste the same. They still taste the same. You know, just a minor adjustment from chicken stock to vegetable stock. And I got a whole vegan and a gluten-free tamale, and again tapping into a whole nother market inside of it, just doing something different. So the journey has just been amazing, you know, just coming from where I've came from, because now I'm at the point, as Angie mentioned at first, look, you got to come with it, and I'm charging tax. Like you can't half step to me. I know what you're hitting for, you know, you gonna have to come with it if you do actually approach me. So I'm loving the space I'm in. I'm loving the people that are around me. Love these ladies on the screen, the ones that are here. I love you guys. I'm still shipping the tamales. As soon as I get, I tell you, I'm gonna send y'all shipping information. As long as y'all handle the shipping, I got the tamales. You ain't gotta worry about paying for it. I just appreciate the opportunity and genuine people, because that is so hard to come by.
Yeah, and that's it. Genuine, authentic people who want to see you succeed, who are not secretly behind, like, you know, she's getting it, you know, like can't stand it, can't stand it. But this is amazing, and who would know? Like, who would know that you're out there doing this? If we don't come together, collaborate, and celebrate one another, how do we know who's doing what? Ordinary people doing extraordinary things, and that's extraordinary, And then let me say this: it's beautiful that you didn't count it robbery to put the collard greens in there. You want to know why? Because it's just like someone having spaghetti all the time. It's like, okay, they know spaghetti, right? But then when you start putting shrimp in it, you start putting, you start putting the, the clams in it, and you take that dish and you switch it around. Somebody who's so used to having spaghetti, but is open to diversity and a new experience, is going to be like, yo, this is great. Now I got spaghetti and I got this dish. Now I don't have to always have the same thing, because some people get sick and tired of the same thing. They want to have their culture. They still love the things in their culture, but want something a little different. And here you go. You didn't take it completely away from the tamale, but you added to it. And so that is just amazing. It's amazing that you didn't count it yourself robbery to be free. To now not only stop at the collard greens, but then to add all of these different recipes. I told you were doing some great stuff, didn't I?
I'm living and serving on my purpose. That's about it. I'm where I'm really, like, when I say fierce, fabulous, like truly free, like I am where I need to be. I've forgiven who I need to forgive. It's no hard feelings. It just wasn't. I realized, some people, because how sometimes you be in your feelings about certain stuff and you still, still, you know what? You served your purpose. Thank you for your services. Thank you for your time. And it's just that simple. It ain't no, like, I'm not being, she got, she doing this. No, it's not that. We're just in two different spaces, and it's okay. And I think a lot of people don't realize that. Like, it is really okay. You kind of grow out of stuff and you move on, to go to the next level. Because again, to go to the next level, you got to have certain people that are around you that are going to keep you, keep you sharp, and, to challenge you and make you want to do better and make you want to grow.
Want to grow. And so like I said earlier, with Own It, we focus on topics. We focus specifically on topics. So January, of course, we're looking, and I'm a strategist, so I project into the year. So we're looking at January was mindset. So in order for you to be fierce, fabulous, and free, you got to get your mind together, right? And so once you get your mind together, you said something that was very, very important and very critical. It's about attitude. It's about perspective. It's about how you are perceiving things and responding to things. So it's a heart issue, right? So first it's conceived in the mind. And then once accepted and grabbed hold of, it travels down into the emotions, which is the heart, right? And then that governs our behavior. And if we're not smart about it, if we're not smart about checking it between here and there, we'll
Yes.
get off and we'll miss it. We'll miss it. We'll miss it and miss it. So Latoya, I just want to say thank you so much, Chef Diva. We really appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
One thing I want you to do is you are in Texas. I want you to connect with Robin Hughes. She is R. Hughes and Associates magazine. She's on here tonight. She said, "Good evening, ladies." Let's just show her up here a couple of times. I would love for you to connect with Robin Hughes
Great.
because she's right there in your neck of the woods.
Okay.
And you guys can make magic happen there too. I know she was
Most
talking
definitely.
to me. Yeah,
Most
she was talking to
definitely.
me tonight about having someone in who does food, chefs, spices, anything like that. So she was looking for someone.
Look, and
So-
I'm right here, right on time, divine
yeah,
time.
there
Look
you
at
go.
that.
There
Look
you
at
go.
that.
And then you're in the same neck of the woods.
Right.
So
In the
it's nice to
same,
be
it's the connection.
right. It's nice to be national, but it's also nice to have your community at home. So
Right.
there she goes. She's one for you. And so I just want to add in Sparkle. Here she is in the house. We've been she came in, she came out, she came in again. And so Sparkle, I just want to give you a chance to talk about, being I am a woman in power. Talk to us about what that meant to you. We know that you're a repeater. You've come back, you are dedicated. And then I want you to talk about being fierce, fabulous, and free. Free is like, man, because it's always fierce, fabulous, and focused or something like that. But the freedom thing is wow, it's humongous. So Sparkle, share a little bit about that, and do not hold back from, because I believe we are authors, but we also are CEOs. We have our own business, we have our own purpose and calling, and you know me, Sparkle. I just want you to talk about the totality of you as it pertains to the project, but also as it pertains to all the other things that you're doing as well in life and in business.
Yes. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure. I come with my bell ringing. Ring your bell. Ring your bell. Ring your bell. So it's when you can ring your bell for yourself, that you don't have to wait on somebody to ring your bell. You get up in the morning and say, "It is showtime." That's how I see life. It's showtime. Every day is showtime. It is time to come in and make a difference in this day, because you only get it's 24 hours. We're going to sleep 8 of them. We're going to work 8 of them. So that's 16 hours gone. And you can't go back and get them back. So I'm in a new life. I am in a new life, like reintroducing myself to myself. Let me tell you, it took me 40 years to get here, and you think I'm not going to enjoy every moment? Like I used to be my own victim, feeling sorry for myself. Oh, well, believe every negative word that's have ever been spoken to me. I believe that. And see, mine is backwards. I had to get free before I could get fabulous and I could get furious. I had to go backwards because I was in prison, not federal prison, but I was in prison of my own prison, my own mind prison, my own heart prison. I'm not good enough prison. And that prison place, every day to wake up and say, okay, life is just life. Oh, well, whatever happened, it happens. And this was going to church every day. This is not being a part of God's kingdom. Yes, I was God's kingdom, but let me tell you, it's easy to fake it. It's so easy to fake it. You can fake and you have this beautiful mask on and you can look so good. And you don't believe not a word that is being spoken, or that you just don't believe it because you don't think it's possible for you.
Wow.
You don't think you can do it. So I took a long journey to get back to get me, to reintroduce me. Yes, my name changed. I changed my name to Sparkle because I'm a sparkle in God's eye. I'm a sparkle in my eye. And I don't care if I don't sparkle in your eye because I'm a sparkle. Right? And I'm a shine bright, and I'm a celebrate, and I'm a cheer life because it is a cheer to me. because I have a new day and I have a new opportunity to get it right. Despite what life has thrown me, because it is all behind me. And boy, what's ahead of me is unmeasurable. If I believe it, like it was an assignment that I had to just believe it. I'm like, God,
Yeah.
this is all it took was for me to believe in me.
Mm.
But it took a process. He had to take me on a personal journey, and I had to be willing to go on the journey to forgive me. Forgive me. Everybody talks about forgive others, forgive others. What about forgive you?
Self, yeah. Yeah.
Because you know, you allowed it, but oh well. So what that you allowed it? Forgive you. And it's four. Four is before. Before give, before grace, before hope, before deliverance, before it all happens before you can forgive.
Yeah.
So and you know, this journey, I feel like a little baby because I'm when I say I'm new beginnings, new life, I'm serious. This is my second part of life.
Yeah.
It's second part of life. And being fabulous is just enjoying you. I enjoy me. I will take myself on many dates. I will travel with me. I will take myself out. I will love on me. I will hug on me because I'm never alone. And God is always with me. I'm never alone. It's not a part of life that I go through that I have to sit there and be by myself. Because it's not about yourself. As long as you have the Holy Spirit, girl, forget the rest of that. Forget what they say. Because God's love continue to show us over and over and over of what his love will do. And I'm furious because of his love, and because I decided to take control of me. I have sparkles, and you know, it's so ironic how God did it. He started me doing what I love, my passion of fashion and jewelry and accessories and making people feel beautiful. But it wasn't just about jewelry. It was about teaching others to love themselves, to forgive themselves, to step out. That I can tell them, I used to not believe me either. I used to think it wasn't possible for me either. But because God has given me a second chance, I know he gives us chances after chances after chances after chances after chances. I am so thankful that I'm not him, because I wouldn't give y'all that many chances. Y'all getting
I don't think any of us would.
you get cut off. So it's just teaching, like it's somebody watching us and watching how you move. And now I know when people speak negative, it's out of bondage. It's out of hurt. They're only speaking those negative words because it's a hurt that's inside of them. So they say she thinks she's all that because they don't think they're all that. So in return, let me to say that's what she thinks about herself. So once I realized negativity is just a turnaround of the opposite, and keep on turning it around and keep on turning it around. And I'm determined to speak to nations, to speak to world, to let them know, to sparkle despite what life has thrown you. You deserve this. You deserve to sparkle for you. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to give out love. You deserve to walk on the earth. If you want to go to Mars, you deserve to go to Mars. If that's where you want to go, it's nowhere that you cannot go, and it's nothing that you cannot do. So that is ring your bell. When he told me it's nothing I can't do, nothing I can't, it's nothing that I cannot have. I'm like, see, he's told the wrong person, because I'm one of those, I run with it. I run with it. So I tell people all the time, you can't mess with me. Do you not know who I am? because I know who I am now. So I can say, do you not know who I am? It's a privilege to sit next to me. It's privilege to be in my presence, because before they used to tell us, you shouldn't say stuff like that. That is saying, oh, you shouldn't say, that'll never happen to me. You don't supposed to say that, because when you say never, it could happen to you. No, say never, so that will never happen to you. Say it and believe it, so it won't happen to you.
That's right.
Otherwise, you leave it open to happen. You leave the gate open. So I am coming to not leave no gates open. I'm not even leaving the crack. You know how we crack the window to get the air in? If I gotta slide through the crack, you're gonna see me sliding on through the crack. The hips and thighs and all. But like, dang, she squeezed. Let me make room, because here I come. And to teach others that you got it. You have what it takes. You have what it takes. So I specialize in you. The you, reintroducing you to you, refocusing on you. Some people call it selfish. Some people call it self-love. I call it on purpose to loving you. I call it do it on purpose. And I'm here to sparkle people, to make them look good from the outside, but not just on the outside. I want that sparkle to come shining bright through from the inside out, because I know how to pretend, and I know the difference now.
Amen. 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 And that's it. You will get us to preaching, honey. You're talking about everything that you said. You know, as a man thinketh, so is he, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, and whatever a man says with his mouth, so shall he have. And God says, I can do all things through Christ. With man, this is impossible, but with God, all things are possible. So we get into really, really getting deep into that word. And because God is saying that, you know, he said he's come for that we would have life and life more abundantly, that we're not supposed to live in bad bondage. So that's why the freedom part of this message and this work of inspiration is so important, because when you are free, who the Son set free is free indeed, right? That means they don't return to bondage. We don't return. So that's why it's so important for us to be a woman empowered, because we are empowered to do everything that God called and designed and purposed us to do the minute we step into alignment with his design for us. And so this is such an empowering work. And it's so real. It's real, real, real. Every day is real. Because every day is a battle that the enemy comes in to try to get you off kilter, to knock you off kilter. Because remember, I said earlier, once you're free, it's no longer about you. It's about everyone that God assigned to you to free. We're all Harriet Tubmans. We are all Harriet Tubmans. We have all come to a specific population that God assigned to us as trailblazers, as forerunners, to set the captive free. Own It magazine is standing on Isaiah 61. He has anointed me to preach the gospel, to set the captive free, to break the bondage off of those, to mourn those who weep, right? So that's what 61 says. But 61 also talks about the giving back, the restoration process. So read Isaiah 61 for the fullness of where we're at in this season. And then it's Jeremiah 29:11. I know the plans I have for you. But the thing that the Holy Spirit gave me was, God is saying in that scripture, I know the plans that I have for you. What God is seeing if we are aware of is seeking him for those plans. Like he knows the plans, but do we? And are we asking him to reveal those to us? Because that's a part of the empowerment process. And it's also a part of the totality of the freedom that comes with being empowered. And so I want to bring on our homeboy, the man of the hour. You already know. I see you smiling, homie. I see you smiling. You driving, but I see you smiling. I think you can handle this. We want to bring him on. You guys won, if I'm not mistaken, You guys won when you went on Amazon Live. The book is now live. Am I correct?
Yes.
The book is now live, and you've won. And I want to hear about what areas you won, what categories you won in, and then also talk to the audience, because I know that we're doing, I believe it's either sales or pre-sales. And I want Matthew, if you are able to speak to that, would you be able to speak to that and then close us out on this whole journey? Because man, you're the man of the hour, dude. Like, you are like all these women. And here you are, just you hanging in there tough, man. And I'm so proud of you. You are my homie. Talk to us, Mr. Santana.
Hey, everybody. How y'all doing?
Good.
I just want to start off by saying I'm just honored to be around all you women. No matter what you all have went through in your past, currently going through, I'm proud of you all because you making it. You showing other people this is not about to stop you. You gonna make this test a testimony, and that testimony is gonna help other people pass their test. So I just want to say that I'm proud to know each and every one of you. I can't wait to meet you all in person. So we are all doing pre-orders for Woman Empowered 2, Fierce, Fabulous, and Free. Some people don't know what it means to be free. I tell people all the time, I know what it feels like to be broken, lied to, hurt, backstabbed by the closest. But now I am free. Once you release all of that hurt and that pain and be reborn, you free. And nothing can get to you. I tell everybody everything I touch is blessed.
All right.
And I stand by that. Everything I touch turns to gold. We hit #1 bestseller, and I think 4, 5 different categories: short stories, women authors. It was just so many, and they just kept hitting back to back. And it wasn't because of anything that I did. We all did this together. You all wrote the chapters. I was behind the scenes, but we did it together, and I'm proud of each and every one of you. It's not just one person. We all came together as a group. Everybody came together. They may have struggled with their stories, but they pushed through and made it. They put all of that hurt behind them and wrote those chapters and healed. And that's a process.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
If you ain't been hurt, lied to, stepped on, you really don't got no story to tell. If you ain't been cut, bruised a little bit, you don't got nothing to say. Go ahead, sit down, have a seat, and let us show you how it is done. Let us show you what hurt is, what pain is, and then we're gonna bring you over to showing you what real love is, not that fake stuff that somebody that's trying to get something from you. We're gonna show you how to be whole, how to be free and healed. Once you release, that's the word of the year. Not just the day, not just the month, but we gonna release every negative thing that is spoken against you and be released and be free because you are fierce and fabulous. We're gonna be reborn. So I want you all to pre-order Woman Empowered 2, Fierce, Fabulous, and Free on Amazon. Each of the ladies have their own personal link that they're going to share on their pages. Go ahead and support these ladies because they were phenomenal. They broke those chains and were released from everything that people said that they couldn't. They broke those barriers, and now they're putting their stories out on Front Street for you all to read. Not because they're gloating, but to show that they're proud of themselves, that they are whole, they are healed, they're fabulous and free. And I'm just glad to be a part of the process and helping each one of these women release all of those negative things. People can talk. Let them talk. It's all about you. Sparkle said it's okay to be selfish. Be selfish. It's all about me. If you're not bringing value to my life, you gotta go. So let's release every negative thing that has been spoken upon you, because you got it. You look in that mirror and tell yourself that you can make it. You ain't gonna struggle no more. You gotta shift those mindsets and tell
Yes.
yourself you can make it no matter what you going through. That depression, you can go ahead and sit in the dark for a few seconds, but don't dwell on it. Don't sit on it, because you're gonna get stuck. Go ahead, turn them lights on.
Yeah.
Go ahead, put on that makeup. Don't wear no makeup.
Put on
But
that music.
Whichever
it's
one.
all about you. You got to encourage yourself every single day. Look in that mirror, write those affirmations, and tell yourself, I can.
And
And once you tell yourself, I can, turn
I
to your sister. I can, you can. If you down, I got your back no matter what. And that is what it's all about. You have to have that support system. And tell your sister, I'm coming to you woman to woman. I've been through this, and I'm not going to let you go through what I went through.
Right.
I'm going to help you get up. Put on your crown with you. Fix your crown, because my sister, I'm there for you. You're not alone. So I want you all to write down, release every negative thing, and write down some positive things. And if you can't come and tell some positive things about yourself, you got some work to do. So go ahead and order Woman Empowered 2, Fierce, Fabulous, and Free, because it's going to help somebody in their journey. Y'all got this.
We're going to flash up that cover real quick so they can see it, identify it. Here is I Am a Woman Empowered 2, Fierce, Fabulous, and Free. And as Matthew said, it is on Amazon, but check with your author and purchase directly from your author. Support your authors directly. So authors, make sure that you have your links available for folks to reach out to you and for them to receive it. Because they need to hear the stories. The stories need to be shared and need to be read. You just never know when someone's on that edge, you know. I just recently watched Whitney's story. And I watched it where no one's telling the stories, that you just see snippets of. I don't know if you guys, I know that there's different documentaries out there, but for the most part, this wasn't really commentaried at all. What it was just segments of video of Whitney in her own words, and in real life, snippets of the story. And people, you'll be surprised to see how successful they are, right? On the outside, not really realizing how on the inside they're desperate and alone. And so each one of your stories where you just say, oh, this is just me, this is just my life, we kind of sometimes take for granted how someone else would be like, oh my God, that's me too. And look at how she handled it and how I'm handling it. And I need to really handle it like she handled it, because she brought herself all the way through it. And so sometimes we do take our own stories for granted, and our own journeys for granted. And there is a world out there that's really suffering and needs to hear our stories. So please make sure that you are messaging your friends, your families, those people in your network, and giving them the link and saying, hey, this is my story. But it's a collective of stories that you may find yourself, if not in my story, you may find yourself in one of these stories. And so it has always been a pleasure. And we always do a marathon of interviews. So I'm looking forward to seeing all of you back, taking center stage and owning it with me. I'm so excited to have had you here tonight. Can you believe an hour has gone by?
No.
No.
Not at all.
It doesn't feel like an hour. And just think, we have only scratched the surface of the conversation. We have only scratched the surface. You only went around this room one time to really speak. So I'm looking forward to having you back. Tuesday nights are your nights. And so I've dedicated, Tuesday nights is the Author's Corner. So the primary viewership is really focused on the Author's Corner of Own It magazine. And you're welcome to join if you're there. If you haven't joined already, you're welcome to join the Author's Corner and post away your book, what you're doing. You're welcome to also share. So I have the Own It magazine's Facebook group. So when I say the Author's Corner is on Facebook. So if you join the Author's Corner, I drop nuggets in there every Tuesday. I drop a nugget of how to sell your book, tips on how to sell your book, how to get out there. You're welcome to come on the Own It platform at any time to do your own private interviews as well. And you're welcome to be featured in the Own It magazine as well. Own It has 3 different magazines. It has the Own It Personal Professional Business Development. It also expanded this year, and it has Lifestyles and Leisure Living. And then we have the BTG, Bridging the Gap, Strategizing for Student Success. Because I have a heart for our young people, I write to our young people. So we have those 3 different magazines that you can be featured in. And we just, listen, Own It is all about getting our message out there, getting personal, professional, and business development, helping people succeed, helping them to be fierce, fabulous, and free and focused. And also we want women to be empowered. And we need our men to rise up as well. So we're thankful for Matthew, who's dedicated his time, and he's around, and he loves unconditionally, and he is very connected to women. And we need our men to rise up like that. So we need to have a heart for our men too, and also offer them a space where they can get a better understanding and better connectivity with us too. So on Friday nights, if you speak to relationships or anything like that, you want to speak about your marriage or relationships, we have Sweetheart Before I Say I Do. I love guests coming on there because we need to reconnect men and women together. The enemy, Satan himself, has come in to divide and conquer the love relationship. And the only way that we can rebuild that is to stop saying we're from Venus and Mars and say we're from the same planet and we know how to communicate, because God did not make us so that we are so far. He said it's not good for man to live alone, so he gave him a helpmate. So that in it of itself speaks volumes. And the only way we're going to heal in that is to start having a conversation. So I would love for you to reach out to me. Let's do that. Be on the platform. We're here. We want to get you as much visibility as possible. The book is I Am, and I'm going to show it again. I am a woman empowered, and I am fierce, focused, and free. Free is critical. And so here's the book, ladies and gentlemen. We want you to purchase the book. You see all the authors. Please get connected with them directly. Follow them. Connect with them. We got the Black women, Black girls, tamales. I love it. I love it. I love it. Chef Diva. I love it. So make sure we support one another. Like I said, Latoya, get in touch with Rob and make that connection there. And just want to say to you, thank you so very much. Matthew, thank you. You are always a sweetheart. I love you so much. So empowering and inspiring. Ladies and gentlemen, we're waving because we're been an hour. We thank you so very much for being here with us. Truly appreciate you. Have an amazing week. We are still at the top of the week. It feels like we're almost at the end, but we're at the top of the week, so we can finish strong. So take center stage and own it. Be empowered, fierce, fabulous, and free. We are out.